Once again, live from the Huon Hill Hotel, Gus McLeod and Scooter Fraser, the TDFL back bar. Big shout out to D&T Britain as well for their ongoing support of us here on TDFL Live and the back bar. Scoot, welcome back.
Great to be here again. Beautiful brewery fresh beer at the Huon Hill Hotel. Great sponsors of the TDFL.
And we are a man down, and we also have a theme for this week's show. It's athletes and athleticism, and you and I are two of the finest specimen getting around. I'm having a soda water. Apparently it's a new drink that might catch on. You're having half a pot. And Matt Sider, our co-host, is taking his fitness to a whole new level.
Hey fellas, can't make the back bar this week. I'm currently en route in the car on the way to the airport. I've booked myself a return ticket to Thailand. I'm going on a 6-day intensive Muay Thai training camp with the goal of losing around 15 kilos to get back next Wednesday and put my hand up for selection. I just want to play on the MCG, the bush, come September. So doing all I can to get fit and hopefully get in the team. So sorry I've stood you up this week, but I'm putting my own interests first and heading overseas to get fit, get in good shape and come back half a man. See you next week, hopefully.
Nah, very good from Matty. I don't mind his commitment to the cause. I mean, he's rather ambitious thinking he's going to break in, considering Tristan Mann was, without a shadow of a doubt, best on ground at the weekend.
Sheer dominance by Tristan, I reckon. It's the best game I've seen him play. Matty, you're kidding yourself. We know he's going to a junket. He's probably going to put weight on. He's probably going to do a canteen or a restaurant review when he gets back.
Yeah.
And he'll be in the sponsors 10 on grand final day. So
I was going to say, I've been to Thailand once or twice and, you come back in slightly worse nick than what you had over there. Righto, normally we have a top 10, top 5 this week. We're going to go short and punchy. Kicking things off, is the Witch Doctor going to make its way down to Chiltern Recreation Reserve during the week? Mitch Hemming, Braden O'Hara, that is on the tip of everyone's tongues. Maybe Stephen Dank or another funky doctor going to make their way down to Chiltern and help the Swans get a few boys up for the big prelim.
Oh, they've got to throw everything at it, mate. Whatever it takes. You know, there's corkies, calves, hamstrings, you name it. Do it for this weekend because if you don't, there's no next week for them. So if they can get themselves right, get out there on Saturday and put it up to Barney and win, they've got another week to live.
Do we know who's sharing the rooms with Chiltern on Saturday? Who's playing going to be in the sheds in the reserves while they're warming up? Do we know?
I reckon it might be Yak.
Well, if it is the Yak boys, if you see any little vial jars and syringes in the change room, don't touch them. They're for Brado and Mitch Hemming to get up and play on the weekend. Now, we know that the Kiwa Sandy Creek Hawks, they were too good for Barney in the major semi-final, and we spoke about Tristan Mann and his dominance, and that's because Barney went in without their star ruckman, the big Moose Quinn. Now, he was sucking on bintang skewies and drinking those big 750ml bintangs in the pool over in Bali, and what I want to know from you, Scooters, where's the overs-unders on how many bintangs Moose consumed in his week away?
Are we talking a daily average or for the whole week?
Let's go both. So I reckon, peak wedding day, he'd be around the 25 to 26 mark, I reckon, for the big Moose.
I'd say a daily it'd be 10 to a dozen.
Yep.
Yeah, so 7 days, you're looking over 100.
Yeah, 100 bin
But
tanks.
he'll come back, he's nice and fit. He would have sweated it out at some stage over, I'm hoping. No, I'm joking.
We're really crossing our fingers and our toes at the
But that was a big thing missing. On the weekend, they needed him in the ruck, changed the whole dynamic. So hopefully Moose gets back out there fit as a fiddle and ready to ruck and roll.
How do you get that one past Muddy? Just midway through the finals, I'm going to nick over to Bali, get on the gas for a week at a wedding.
One reason and one reason only. His partner.
Happy wife, happy life?
Yeah, sorry Muddy, she said this, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And
fair enough too.
yeah.
On the weekend, Scoot, I was delighted to see Connor Newnham bring up his 100th goal, but shattered to hear that you did your hamstring prior to the ton being reached. You pumped it up so much coming into the weekend. You were going to run on the ground, give him a hug. Our little mate David Wink, who was doing the stats, he said he was going to take the headphones off and run out. Well, I think Winky might have got lost. You didn't make it out onto the ground, and I was a little bit disappointed with the lack of fanfare. I thought it was going to be an enormous pitch invasion.
Well, one thing with Winky, there's a lot of steps for that little fella to get that far out. Second one, still a bit of a lingering hammy from the one and only comeback a few weeks ago. Third, Connor was down the other end from where I was, and I just wasn't going to risk it.
So if he was on this side of the ground, you would have got there?
A lot closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How selfish of him.
But look, if we wound the tape back to last week, I said he'd get it in about the 10, 15-minute mark of the first quarter. He had 1 goal, 1 at the 10-minute mark.
Yep.
And then, unfortunately, I think Goof was right, he'd kick it in about the 15-minute mark of the second quarter. So, hate to say Goof was right, but yeah. But it was great. It was a great spectacle.
Will we see another ton in the years to come?
I think we will. Yeah.
Reddy and obviously Ricky Whitehead were the last two.
Yeah, I think without a doubt. And whether Connor stays in the league next year, because I know he's been inundated with phone calls, and good luck to him if he does go back to Raiders or wherever he goes. If he does go, love him to stay, kick another 6 in the interleague next year. But I think our coaches and the way the game's played, it does allow for the forwards to be proper forwards, unlike the AFL and those sort of.
And I think a lot of people also forgot as well that there's another guy on the forward line by the name of Guy Telford who goes okay. And he kicked 6 snags on the weekend and he was everywhere. He just dominated, the big guy. Factor, of course, had one of the great quotes on the way home. I'm not sure if it was you interviewing him or he might have been catching up with someone in the car park and said, the reason I enjoyed the footy up in the Upper Murray was there's not too many takeaway shops to grab a bag of dimmies from on the way home from Cudgewah. Was that with you?
He did say that in the interview, yeah. Because he did say last year I spoke to him while he was at Cudgewah and the 3 weeks on, 1 week off was really refreshing for him. But then he added in that, there weren't any takeaway stores between Cudgewah and home. So
maybe I should go and call Cudgewah games.
Yeah, he's got half a dozen in that game and Connor kicked 2. And if your 2 forwards kick 8, you're well on the way to winning out at Sandy Creek.
We love the amount of coverage that local sport gets here on the border. Of course, there's 2AY, our YouTube channel, the Border Mail as well, and really good article on Wednesday from the team at the Border Mail interviewing former Ovens and Murray superstar, now coach of Jindera. We don't like talking about the rival league too much, but Joel Mackey from the Hume League, and off the back of this article on Wednesday, there has been calls from Rutherglen in particular to bring in a top 6 for the TDFL in 2026. Now, as the league vice president, is there any chance? I've actually got a phone call coming in from Darren Holmes, the new coach of Yakandana. He wants the top 7 next year as well. So, can you confirm nor deny this is the case?
Oh, that's interesting, isn't it? No, look, we love the top 5. It's a great structure. Gives us the perfect 4 weeks of finals, and it works. Top spot gets the week off.
You get 4 weeks of finals of the top 6?
Yeah, no. It's as simple as that. It's interesting that Joel did say we wouldn't have made finals.
Well, they wouldn't have.
So, but that's their choice. Interesting with, top 7. That'd be interesting. How would you do that? But Home is probably looking at getting back in the top 5 and not even worrying about that at this stage.
A couple of our sponsors we need to thank, Scooter, before we touch on a couple of the new ones. Of course, our live stream partners.
Yeah, we've got some great live stream partners ongoing. Finer Embroidery, DTD Engineering, Jackson's Earth Moving, Burda Ag Attachments.
Not to be confused with Burger Ag Attachments, which we'll get to shortly.
Yeah, we had to go that last week. But, and we've got some fantastic people just in the background. Need to fuel the TDFL live commentary team.
Yes.
Jono's Jerky. The number 39 for Thaguna. Jono Painting, a little bit of a side gig.
Yep.
He's an accountant by trade.
Is he?
But found out that he does a little bit of jerky making on the side. And
how good's this? Well, he's got a full range. You head to his website. Just jump on Google, www.jonosjerky.com.au. You've got a full range of flavours. And we thought here is a bit of a back bar exclusive. We tried the hottest one that he's got on offer, the habanero chili. And this could make for some really good post-production here because I've been led to believe, Scoot, that this is blow your socks off sort of stuff. Have you tried it yet?
I have.
We'll give it a go, eh?
It's nice.
The Jono's Jerky Habanero Chili. Make sure you go and see the guys at Jono's Jerky, I should say, and big shout out to Jono. Think we need to go to a break here on the back bar. Hot. We're back after this from Hugh on Hill.
D&T Britain Transport Services, moving the heavy things to lighten your load. Damien Britton is your trusted expert in oversized machinery transport, operating quad-axle and widening floats with precision. From long-haul and local cartage to construction and agricultural machinery, hay, silage and tipper deliveries, Britto gets it done with reliability and care. Renowned for safety and punctuality, D&T Britain Haulage ensures your heavy equipment arrives without stress because when the job is big, Britto makes it simple.
Chanty, 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 Chanty.
Chanty, that's the name to remember. Chanty Holdings are the pros for all the muckiest jobs. For cleaning and servicing septic tanks, treatment plants and grease traps, winery and trade waste, even cleaning car and truck washers. They've been doing it for over 50 years, from Albury to Beechworth, Corryong to Corowa, Wodonga to Yarrawonga, Wangaratta to Henty, and everywhere in between. When it comes to liquid waste, call Chanty.
Chanty, Chanty, Chanty.
Call 1-800-CHANTY.
I can tell you right now, the habanero chili is not for me. I'm more of a garlic and rosemary operator. Remember when Nando's used to be around? I was that bloke that got the lemon and herb. Everyone else used to get the really hot chili sort of operations, but that's not my cup of tea. What is my cup of tea is coming down here to Hugh on Hill, of course, Wodonga's favourite pub. Looking forward to coming back here on Saturday, Scoot, because we're into the single day of finals footy and netball across the TDFL and TDNA here on the back bar, and we're looking forward to promoting a big prelim final day.
Certainly are, with rain forecast for Sunday, which is absolutely tick the box for our curator Steve Knight and his merry group of men.
Ground is looking better and better by the day.
Yeah, we've got a little surprise for grand final day as well.
Surprises?
Couple of surprises, which we might talk about next week. But yeah, big day this Saturday, 20 degrees, fine. Yeah, there's going to be no excuse in all the footy, 5 footy and 6 or 7 netball. Should be great. Really looking forward to it.
Absolutely. Here's the netball games on the weekend. Thaguna booked their ticket to the big dance in the 13 and unders, and in the prelim it's going to be Kiwa Sandy Creek taking on Yak and Danda. 15 and under, Kiwa, they're already there, Scoot. And then it's Chilton versus Tallangatta on Saturday. Same again, Chilton versus Tallangatta in the 17 and under with Kiwa already in the grand final. C-Res, Chilton versus Kiwa with Thaguna already in the grand final. In the B grade, Kiwa, the C grade I should say. The B grade is coming up next. Kiwa Sandy Creek versus Chilton in the C grade. Thaguna are already into the grand final. B grade, Kiwa versus Mitta. Nice to see another club represented in the netball with the Doggies already through to the B grade grand final. In the A grade, Chilton versus Tallangatta with Kiwa Sandy Creek having a huge win in the A grade netball. Big shout out to Kath Evans, one of our favourites here on the back bar, and her A grade girls going all the way through to the grand final from second. And you've got a very interesting stat about the netball representation coming into a potential grand final, Scoot.
There's a big possibility, mate, that only 3 clubs could be represented on grand final day on the netball courts.
Kiwa, Chilton, Thaguna.
If things go Chilton's way, that's the way it is. But
there you go.
Thaguna have already got 5.
Yep.
Kiwa 2. Yeah. So if the rest of if those numbers are correct, yeah, it might be a sea of red, white, and blue, and yellow and brown, and the red and white. But I'm going to go for Tallangatta in the A grade because if they get through this week, it'd be nice to get Erica on to into her room again and make it a spectacle in the grand final.
I'm going to lean towards the Swannies.
Only because you have to.
Nah, just ticking the box. If we had an arm wrestle, you want to make sure there's a bit of a 50-50. They only lost 1 game for the year, so back them in. What about the football side of things, Scooter? Obviously, prelim final day. We know the men's game is a highly topical debate, but some of the lower grades are kicking things off with the little tackers. They'll be kicking the dew off nice and early at Sandy Creek.
They will be, mate. In the under 14s, Mitta already won through.
Yeah, that's a seriously good junior program out in the Mountains Valley.
Certainly is, and so we will see Beechworth play Rutherglen in the under 14s, and in the under 17s, we'll have. I've gone
the other way around.
Gone the other way around.
So the 17s from Mitta are already through to the grand
big
final.
plugger. How could we miss that? Sorry. Yeah, Thaguna are through in the 14s, and Wodonga Saints and Yak will play.
Inspired by a couple of our favourite leading goal kickers, the Thaguna 14s and the Mitta 17s. Yeah. Big plugger from Mitta, and probably one of my favourite speeches from Barton Medal Night, the under 14s leading goal kicker from Thaguna. What about the Rezzies, Scoot? Do we know who's playing in the Rezzies on Saturday?
Well, an emphatic victory by Kiwar in the reserves by 78 points over Yak. It was a very, very flat Yak on Saturday, so they will play Barnawatha on this Saturday for a spot to get back at Kiwar, I suppose, from last week's embarrassment.
Absolutely. Coming into the main event on Saturday, I'm really looking forward to this. I can't help but think we're going to get a different game than what we saw in the qualifying final. Chiltern, they were a totally different team that played Barney in that first week. It was neck and neck until three-quarter time, and Barney really ran away with it in the final quarter to progress to the major semi-final. They've earned the right to get their double chance prolonged, but we've seen Chiltern come this route to the grand final in years gone by. As early as last year, this is the way they progressed to the grand final. They got a real touch-up in the first week of the finals and had 2 wins on the trot to get to the big dance. So Chiltern, they won't be worried, they won't be scared, but Barney will have a lot of confidence coming in. They really put the pedal to the metal against the Swans in that final quarter just 14 days ago. Yeah,
look, I think just poking Chiltern last week, saying that with a few injuries, they might not quite get there. They just have guys that step up, do their job. Michael McWilliams in the ruck.
How good was
I honestly thought Lincoln Hardy had jumped all over him last week. Mika got in and under and got a lot of ball around the ground.
Really channeled his inner sort of, bouncer in the nightclub days, Big Mika. He just, blocked a few blokes out. It was like, you were trying to get into Groove Saint back in the day, Scoot. You just elbow out, couldn't get through, palm it down to the on-ballers.
Groove Saint. You probably mean Ritz or something like that, mate.
Boogie Wonderland.
Mika's pipes were just getting in and under. I think he was channeling that and a little bit of Leachy. He said to me, I just watched and played against Leachy a little bit. Did a fantastic job. So he's going to be up against Big Moose, and
allegedly
it'll be interesting because Moose isn't a jumper, but he's the same sort of thing. So a little bit taller, a little bit of weight differential. Maybe Moose might have the upper hand, but like I said, Mika got a lot of ball around the ground, and the on-ballers were very well fed.
From what we can tell, Barney will most likely bring in an unchanged lineup coming into this game. Jack Chesser returned after missing the first game. Barring Moose, I'd imagine their side will be unchanged. I'd say to be a straight swap in the ruck.
Yeah, Peter Jeffrey's out, Moose in.
Yeah, I'd say that'd be
but then again, we're used to the muddy magic, and he might just...
He does like to throw a little curveball in the mix.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Whilst for Chiltern, we spoke about at the top of the show, it's the million-dollar question. Braden O'Hara and Mitch Hemming, do they play? If you were a betting man, Scoot, which way would you be leaning?
Betting
man... For
man...
argument's sake, I do know you are a betting man.
Betting man says yes, they play.
Both?
I really can't see Braden getting up.
Yeah.
And
he was so disgruntled when he spoke to us
after
the qualifying final. I can't help but think he might be putting all his eggs in the basket of next week. I know you got to get there first. But
he's done it in the ovens, and Murray been injured and come back. God, he's come back from a broken back this year. So, look, legally, a couple of jabs, all that sort of stuff, that's not a problem in footy. There's things that can get you over the line. If that's available to those guys, do it. Get into a grand final, give them a big stretch, of the week. You don't need to train much in a week of a grand final. It's just having the ball in your hands. So if they can play, get a win, get through the next 7 days, and playing a grand final, who knows?
We have been asking for some videos to come in for Mark of the Year, and we received a really interesting one during the week for a goal of the year. It come in via carrier pigeon from an anonymous source. And it come from, we don't know if it was coming from Colcan or it might have come in from the back part of Barranduda, but it features a Yakandanda Twos player that resembles a lot of yourself, Scoot. I can't help but think maybe yourself, after maybe a few beers and a slice of pizza on a Saturday night, have sent this in, or maybe mum and dad from Colcan have sent this in, but your goal, fairly basic, I might say, has made its way in for the submissions. We're going to whack this one in, but we are still calling for some submissions.
There's only 2 people that have that footage, my wife and a mate's wife.
Yep.
And the unfortunate thing is, for people that if you are going to show it, I've been telling people for the last 3 weeks how it was. It was on my opposite foot on the tightest of angles.
The angle was
and it
tight.
went through.
Yeah,
no one needs to know it was in the goal score off the ground.
Doesn't matter, goal's a goal. Goal's a goal. Of course, we will be giving away a special prize in our grand final show next week. We'll get the big goof back in to give it away. But what's our prize going to be for the best video entry? We're saving a few good ones for next week.
Well, we've called it the Mark of the Year, but now it's coming into just the funniest or silliest or whatever, just the best content. Double pass to the TDFL Grand Final, Saturday the 13th of September.
Absolutely sensational at the MCG of the Bush. Looking forward to seeing you out there this Saturday for preliminary final day. If you can't make it, keep your eyes peeled on the TDFL social media channel or just search for TDFL Live on YouTube to catch the live stream of Barney versus Chilton. The winner books himself a ticket into the big dance to take on the Kiwa Sandy Creek Hawks. Weather looks $1 million. Scoot, good luck on the weekend. You'll be on the boundary. I'll be up in the box. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully Big Goof survives. He's, what is it, Muay Thai, whatever he's doing.
He won't put gloves on at all.
I reckon he might be fighting the little winkies over there, you know. Give him a couple of left, right, good nights. Anyway, we'll see you next week here on the back bar. Thanks to Hugh on Hill, DT Britain. We'll see you at the MCG, the Bush.
D&T Britain Transport Services, moving the heavy things to lighten your load. Damien Britain is your trusted expert in oversized machinery transport, operating quad axle and widening floats with precision. From long haul and local cartage to construction and agricultural machinery, hay, silage and tipper deliveries, Brito gets it done with reliability and care. Renowned for safety and punctuality, D&T Britain Haulage ensures your heavy equipment arrives without stress, because when the job is big, Brito makes it simple.
Chanty, 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 Chanty.
Chanty, that's the name to remember. Chanty Holdings are the pros for all the muckiest jobs. For cleaning and servicing septic tanks, treatment plants and grease traps, winery and trade waste, even cleaning car and truck washers. They've been doing it for over 50 years, from Albury to Beechworth, Corryong to Corowa, Wodonga to Yarrawonga, Wangaratta to Henty, and everywhere in between. When it comes to liquid waste, call Chanty.
Chanty, Chanty, Chanty.
Call 1-800-CHANTY.